it's an interesting market we're working in at the moment, actually, and there's you're looking at specialist lenders and your traditional lenders and the impact they're having and the influence they're having in post PRA 2. I think there's this conception that actually this is new to everybody, and in fact it's not. There's a lot of the historic lenders, the high street lenders that have always offered portfolio lending. For example, it was touched on before by Kevin. And that looking at taking a portfolio view, looking at business plans, looking at asset and liabilities, plans for the future, what is the overall client's cash flow and financial situation. So I think it's good that specialist lenders are being innovative in this area. We've seen the e-text system today, which looks very impressive. But I think in regards to the products and such that they're offering, I think it's about just looking at what the requirement is actually. And I think whilst adhering to regulation and those changes, I think it's, as I said, it's a slight misnomer to think that this isn't already in play and being adopted by certain lenders. But I think it's some of those specialist lenders looking at their offering and saying, well, how do we accommodate that? The more portfolio view, clients looking at more, say, commercial properties and such, can we accommodate that? So, I mean, something like One Savings Bank, for example, they've already got that within their product offering. So I think with the different brands. So I think it's, as I said, it's every lender's got to pick their own path through it. But I think regards to terms and products available, they are already there to meet that current demand. Obviously, with the changes that are coming, there's been a lot in the market recently. So, as a business, we've looked at what the requirements are, both from the regulatory perspective and from the different lenders, and as and when they've come and announced their changes to market. It's something that we've always done as a business, is to look at that wider client situation, wider profile. So it's just continuing to adhere to that business ethos and policy we've always undertaken anyway. But I think in addition to that, I think it's looking back at good old-fashioned values about who is the client, what are their plans, what are they looking to do. So it's incorporating that, but ensuring that's portrayed to the client, to the lender as well, I should say. So understanding the genuine client demands and plans for the next few years. I think regards to how we need to continue to adapt is working with lenders to learn changes in their policy, how they're implementing PRA 2 changes. You heard today, obviously, there's already a number of ways in which they're doing that, just from the portfolio stress. So it's being aware of those changes and looking at it up front, asking for that information right at the start of the process. Don't just quote terms and say that these are available to a client. Understand the client, look at their wider situation before you go back and actually provide them with a solution. Post implementation of the most recent PRA changes, we really just want providers to be as upfront, as honest with us as they can, but also have the ability to take a view. I think whilst we need to adhere to regulation and regulatory changes, I think there's also an element of understanding that client and that business plan. Kevin touched on today, which I was pleased to hear, where they're actually looking at where there might be a shortfall on the 125 cover. Why is there a shortfall? Is that going to be swiftly corrected? Which is good to hear, and that's what you want to be able to see, is have a commercial decision taken on a client and a requirement, not just a doesn't fit, therefore cannot help. The reaction of our clients has been quite interesting, actually, because some have took the view probably 12 months ago that there have been such restrictions put on them by lenders or tax legislation or such. A lot of them just pushed pause and said we're going to sell a few properties and actually just work on the cash side of things. But I think that's going to be a short-lived thing. I think it's just while these things settle down and become the norm, as we've had historically with other changes that have taken effect. So I think in that regard, it's about working with us and just asking the question of us, what is available and how can I go forward and buy this property or that property, but at the same time getting the right advice. So we're there to advise from a financial perspective what terms are available and what's best for that client, but putting them into an accountant, and just make sure they're aware of the tax implications on what they're doing, so that they can really make an informed decision and take that forward.